Hello, it's Pammy. I'm back. Happy Friday. So, here's what the deal is. A lot of people ask, what are the origins of Locs? Where did it come from? Well, this is what we're going to talk about this week. Locs, the beginning history of Locs. Welcome. Come on in. So we're going to talk about Locs, the beginning, the history of Locs this week. And I just want to give you a friendly reminder that I am going to be reading along with the blog in my computer here, which is right here. That's why you see me looking down at it. And I'm going to talk about the history of Locs. Now, in the end of this video, you'll understand why I decided to talk about the history of Locs and things like that. And I hope that you enjoy. Now, if you want to read all of the blogs ahead of time, because my blogs on my website are weeks ahead of me here on YouTube. But people tend to be like, no, I'm going to wait because they like the visual, you know. I try to bring my personality into it, and I hope that you are enjoying it. I did my hair for you today. I still haven't done a retwist yet. I just cleaned it up a little bit and put two nice little braids in my hair for one, because, you know, slants it up. And, you know, I threw on my paparazzi. Yes. CTJewelers, Paparazzi Jewels. And this one I got from my cousin. So I have two paparazzi dealers. CrystalGemz, she gave me the bracelet to complete this set with the beautiful pendant and the ruby earrings. Rubies. I love my accessories. This is how I dress up. This is my version of makeup because I don't wear makeup. All natural. This is my natural beauty. What do you think? No, I'm kidding. So let's get into Locs, a history, the beginning. Okay, here we go. As I usually like to do, I'm going to edit this so that it is formed as a presentation, and I'm going to provide some pictures and things like that. And I hope that I was able to piece the puzzle together a little, you know, because I put a lot of time into it. I was researching for a good while before I even wrote this particular blog, and it just happened when I was like coming to the end of my research. This big event happened, and I thought it was the proper opportunity to go ahead and write it. So let's begin as we read. Locs, the beginning, history of Locs. Hello, welcome back to Locs Talk, where I like to talk about all things Locs and loose natural. This week, I'm going to talk about the history of Locs and the origins that the researchers and historians have shown it was originated. This has been an ongoing topic in the Loc community with the lingering question, when and where does Locs originate? The most assumed answer is Locs originated from the Caribbean, particularly from Jamaica. Research has shown that historians have been researching the origins of Locs for many, many years, searching for documented evidence as its origins. As previously stated, many people believe Locs originated in the Caribbean, as did I before I did a lot of research about it, as a ritual to the Rastafarian religion. While it is factual that the Locs are a huge part of the Rastafari religion originated in Jamaica in the 1930s, Jamaica is in fact not the origin from which Locs originated. Locs have been in existence long before the 1930s, and I'm sure by now should all know that. Okay? I will say, personally though, I credit the Rastafarians for bringing Locs to light in this modern day and age, and making it as popular as it is now, normalizing its existence more and more daily. And while we aren't all Rastafarian, many of us embrace Locs for the same spiritual freedoms of having Locs, right? Okay, so I did some digging and found some very interesting and informative information that I'm going to share with you now. Right? The latest documented discovery of when and where Locs may have originated was published on the website historyyesterday.com, okay, on November 11, 2021. Historians have researched and found that the Minoan Civilization, which dates back to 1500 BC, BC, not AD, BC, twisted their hair into locks. The Minoan Civilization was colonized by Greek in the 8th century BC. I'm guessing this is why some say the origins of locks come from ancient Greece. That's just a guess. I'm not stating that as a fact. That part is an opinion. Okay? Now, the image that I have here, or here, whichever side I decide to put it on, is published literature such as what was published on the culturetrip.com website, August 31st, 2017. Some of the earliest depictions of dreads, another common name for locks, date back to 3600 BC. It also states that Crete is the birthplace of Minoan civilization, and in theory, modern day, Santorini, okay? This is parts of Greece, okay? Show individuals with long braided hairstyles very similar to locks. Note, Crete did not become an official part of Greece until 1913, okay? So we're not talking about then. It wasn't Greece then. It became a part of Greece in 1913. Long after the origins were documented as part of the Minoan civilization. History also states that Minoans were Europeans. Let's look further into this. Getting interesting, isn't it? Right. Already this information alone states the origins of locks was documented over 3,400 years. Centuries prior to the relationship with the Rastafarian religion. But to give more information about the Rastafarian religion, it originated in Jamaica in the 1930s as a movement. Dreadlocks, as they were referred to as locks, are symbolic of the Lion of Judah, which is centered on the Ethiopian flag, highly recognized in the Rastafarian religion and culture. Their dreadlocks were inspired by the Nazarites of the Bible. In the Hebrew Bible, a Nazarite is one who voluntarily took a vow, which is described in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 1 to 21. The specific verse that speaks on locks in Numbers is 6:5, where it says, during the entire period of the Nazarite vow, no razor may be used on their head. They must be holy until the period of their dedication to the Lord is over. They must let their hair grow long. If you recall the story of Samson and Delilah, Samson of the story was a Nazarite. So his hair was locks. It wasn't just long, silky hair. He had locks, okay? And the most famous of those listed in the Bible. So Samson, when she cut it off, is because that broke his connection with spirituality. So he didn't get strength from his hair. It was his spiritual strength that was destroyed because she broke a vow that he had already made a vow not to break. And Miss Thing over here disrupted that. Yeah. That's a different story, though. So we're on the topic of spirituality, so we're going to go delve even deeper into that. There are other places and times where it said locks have originated as well. It is said the origins of locks date back to India. Yeah. As early as 2500 BC. It has been documented in ancient Indian scripture. These scriptures are called Vedic, V-E-D-I-C, Vedic Scripture, or Vedas, V-E-D-A-S. The scriptures are described as a depiction of the deity Shiva, wearing a jata, okay, which is translated to a twisted lock of hair. So the crown that was worn upon the head was actually a twisted lock of hair, right? You know, the Vedas, Hindu holy scripture, are a large body of religious text originated in ancient India, okay? Composed in Vedic Sanskrit, the text constitutes the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. There are 4 Vedas. The Rig Veda, I'm trying to say it as best as I possibly can. The Yur Veda, the Samaveda, and the Atharva Veda. I'm going to have it all written here. I'm trying my best to pronounce it. I'm not really good at pronunciating a lot of words like that. I suffer from dyslexia, so I do the best that I can to word it out. Research has shown that Vedic Scriptures or Vedic Scriptures provide the earliest known written evidence of dreadlocks, while the exact date of origin is still in dispute, ranging from 2500 to 500 BC. But most are probably much older in origin due to the long oral tradition. The dreadlocked Vedic deity Shiva and his followers were described in the Vedic scriptures as jata, meaning wearing twist locks of hair, as I stated above, or I stated previously with you guys. Most likely derived from the Dravidian word katai. All these things I'm going to write down, okay? Which means to twist or wrap. The Vedas are the primary text of Hinduism and had a vast influence on Buddhism, Jainism, and also influenced the Celtic religion, society, and folklore. According to Roman accounts of the time, which can be found in writing of Julius Caesar himself, the Celts wore dreadlocks as well, describing them as having hair like snakes. You can look that up on Weebly.com. What do you think so far? Getting a little deep, huh? And I know that there's probably tons of more information out there. So this is more like a summary of information that I pulled together. Because if I just wrote everything down that I read and oh my God, we'll be sitting here forever. And I'm not going to put you through that. Okay, so I'm just giving you a nice rounded summation of all the information that I gathered together. Okay, and I'm providing also some of the sites and things that I found the information on, so you can go look for yourself and see more stuff that might be in there that might interest you. Okay, so moving on, now we're going to look at another origin that people were saying that locks came from. And let's see. The information provided from the Vedic scriptures could be viewed as the earliest evidence of dreadlocks. But the most substantial evidence is that of ancient Egypt. Yes, that's one of my favorite ones. But that was one of the first ones that I was taught about when I was learning about locks. I learned verbally, and then I went and looked up documents and found pictures and all of that stuff, and so I stuck with that until I started finding more information as I continued to do research, because I research hair all the time. You can ask my kids, you can ask my husband. He'll come in the kitchen to see me sitting on my computer just researching and writing stuff down. I got tons of journals and books sitting on my table where I'm just constantly writing stuff down. So, yeah, that's just, I love it, you know. So, Egyptians, which is why most historians believe the origin of locks originated in ancient Egypt. Okay, so Egypt holds the first archaeological evidence for locks, where mummies have been uncovered with their locks still intact. How awesome is that? And yes, I have provided an illustration. That picture that you see there, that is a picture of a mummy, and you see their locks. They still rocking the locks all these years later. Wow. let me continue on with this. Okay, so that's awesome. And if you saw that picture, it was that picture was a picture of the ancient queen with her locks still intact. That was a queen, a queen. So let's continue into that, because now we're talking about regalness and royalty, right? Get off my computer. No alerts. Okay, so let's move on into the next origin of Locs. Published in the Encyclopedia of Hair, A Culture History, January 7, 2016. The oldest historical record of an African tribe rocking locks. Rocking those locks. Let me stop. Can be credited to the priests of the Ethiopian Coptic religion, who were wearing the styles as early as 500 BC. Beginning from the most commonly well-known origin of dreadlocks, the Rastafari connection to the Ethiopian Orthodox. It has come full circle. You see how that happened? I started one place and wound up coming back around to it. So all of it kind of fits together like this puzzle, right? That explains the connection of the lion Judah on the Rastafarian flag, because that's, Ethiopian. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Okay, so we've gone over a number of documented and archaeological proofs of origins, connecting when and where locks may have originated. From as early as 2500 BC to the 20th century in the 1930s, long before Christ roamed the earth in the modern day. Yet, there remains a dispute as to when and where. My question is, how much does it really matter to you? According to this documented history, it is safe to say that locks are not simply a hairstyle or some new fad that just came out, while for very few it is. For very few it is just a fad or style, but that's a little small amount of people, right? Locks are deeply rooted in our history, and that is something we can all agree on. Locks are symbolic of power, religion, healing, spiritual strength, and deeply rooted connection. Okay? Locks are found in almost every region of the world, and historically were worn by powerful kings and queens and people who are close to God, standing in their I am. I say this to encourage you to embrace every step in every part of your lock journey. Document your journey, both written and photographed. After some years pass, reflect back and read your words in your lock journey. Review your photos and just look at the transformation that happens without you even realizing that you've transformed. As your locks grow in length, they also strengthen in frequency and connection to the Most High. Write about how you've grown more at peace and how you're energetically drawn to people like yourself. Feel the realness, the regalness, the royalty in you as it intensifies in your existence. Wear your locks proudly. For royalty is naturally what your crown is, and your locks is your natural crown. So, you will see those who are spiritually connected, they will never cut their locks. Most of them don't. As you saw illustrated in the Hindu section of this blog, and as many Rastafarians do not cut their locks, symbolic to their holy vow. Today, people who truly understand this connection know they need not cut their locks to relieve or cleanse negative energy either. Okay? But have a symbolic way to cleanse them of their sins. Locks possesses natural healing powers to yourself and to others. No, it does believe. Let me repeat that. No, it does. Believe it does. And you will then manifest your healing power. Okay? I just feel chills all over my body while I'm reading this. Okay. Have you noticed the magnitude of people on their healing journey? All have locks. If you look at social media and you look at the reels and you look at TikTok and you notice people that are doing shadow work and going on that painful and difficult journey to heal themselves and break curses and break generational curses and things like that. Many of them are people with locks. Well, locks represent a devotion to purity. And since the locks are around your head and face, it acts as a constant spiritual reminder to its owner, you, own thoughts, wisdom, and generate goodness to yourself as well to others. Okay? That was written by drlocs.com. That is not mine. That is his. And I wanted to share that quote with you because it resonated so much with me, and I wanted to make sure I give Dr. Locs the credit for that because those are his words, not mine. Okay? The history of Locs goes far back and is deeply rooted within your spiritual soil and firmly planted within you. Within you. Okay? Embrace the love of your crown. Well, it is an extension of yourself. You are a god. You are a goddess. So stand in your I am and wear your crown proudly. Don't let the judgment of society erase your history. Your locks are part of who you are. It's not just a style you wear. Now I'm going to reveal why I chose the time that I wrote this blog and why I published it the particular week that I published it. This blog is dedicated to the celebration of Congress passing the C.R.O.W.N. Act 2022 on March 18th, 2022. To prohibit discrimination to anyone based on an individual's texture and style of hair. This act may be cited as the Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act of 2022, or C.R.O.W.N, which is an acronym for those words that I just spoke, Act of 2022. I'm done reading here, but I want to leave you with this. Locks is not just a hairstyle. It's a part of our history. It's a part of who we are. And we've already dealt with the discrimination and still to this day deal with the discrimination of being who we are, as being African, black, brown people, and not being given the full equal rights as human beings. And this was just another way of degrading us by discriminating against us because of the hairstyles that we choose to wear. Now, they said hairstyles. This is not a hairstyle. This is my hair. This is my hair. You know what the style is? The braids that I put it in. But the locks themselves, that's not a style. That's my hair. That's part of me. Okay? So, embrace yourself. I embrace me. I love me. You know, I can sit on here knowing that I didn't reach with my hair, but I got my nice braids up here to look presentable for you. But locks are a beautiful thing. This has been a grand journey for me, and that's why it's important for me when I work with clients that I help them to embrace and have a grand journey as they embrace their locks. And when I look at the transformation of who they were in the beginning, filled with curiosity and wonder, and they don't have the full knowledge, to becoming what I consider to be a lock elder, filled with wisdom, because they've gone through this whole journey and now they can share what that they personally gone through, and all of these different stories come together. It's amazing, and that's why I love what I do. And I hope that I brought to light more of what it is to have locks, and why I thought about it for as long as I did before I went forward, because I knew the commitment was far more than just, okay, if I don't like it, I can comb it out. The same way, like when I decided to get married, I never went into my marriage saying, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll get a divorce. No, I went in with the intention that this is it forever. I went into locking my hair with, this is it forever. It's either until I die or until I lose my hair, but my hair is locked forever. Okay? My locks are going with me when I transition to my next life. Yes, they are. I've already manifested that, and I'm going to be that royal, that regal. I'm going to walk in that regalness in my next life. Indeed. So thank you for joining me this week on Locs Talk. Next week we're going to get back into talking about hair. We're going to talk about the big chop, going natural. Yeah. So if you are a person who processes your hair and you're thinking about, oh, I'm done with this and this time, make sure you tune in for that one. All right? Please subscribe to my channel and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.